Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Okay, cool. All right, well, first of all, thank you, Julie, and thank you, Debbie, for doing the call tonight. And thank you to all of you who are joining us. I appreciate it. I know we all appreciate it. I'm going to do a quick self-introduction. I think everybody knows me, but there may be someone who might not know me who watches this recorded. So my name is Tony Tioli. I'm 51. I've been married for 32 years. My wife, Julie, and I, not this Julie, different Julie, have 7 kids, grown kids mostly, 14 to 30, 4 boys, 3 girls. We have 1 grandkid, brand new, 5 month new. And my wife operates a childcare business from our home, and I operate a landscaping business for over 20 years, also from my home. So that's kind of me, but we're not talking about me so much as we're talking about plants, and we're talking about eating plants, not landscaping plants. That would be weird. Not talking about eating boxwoods and dogwood trees. We're talking about fruits, vegetables, and berries, and specifically in the form of Juice Plus, which is something that I discovered or rediscovered really pretty recently. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm glad that I can share it with everybody because I think it's a really cool product and it's making a big difference in my life and many other lives. So let me just launch into how that happened. Years ago, this was introduced to me and I did nothing about it. Fast forward to more recently, Debbie is a friend of ours and Julie is a friend also, a friend through Debbie actually. And they're both doing this thing called Juice Plus, which intrigued me. I have a basic understanding that this is fruits, vegetables, and now berries. And I definitely believe that that fruits and vegetables are important to our health, that's the way God designed our body. And that's just the really basic premise that I sort of launched into this thing and started taking Juice Plus for myself. So I kind of started with high hopes and optimism and enthusiasm based on very little information. But, and that's sort of my personality. But the more I've learned, the more affirmations I keep getting from so many different sources. And what I love about it is it's a super simple routine. I know it's very good for my body. There's hundreds or thousands of testimonials from people about positive experiences that they've had. Julie's going to talk more about the specifics of the product. But from my perspective, this just made sense. It's simple, it's easy. I get a great foundation that I'm building every day with just taking these capsules, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good physically, but really it's right now, because I'm sort of new 2 months about, it's more psychological. Like I feel like I'm doing something healthy and good and I'm in a good routine. I have actually seen some physical results, but I don't want to make too big of a deal about it because I'm not sure. I mean, maybe there's coincidences or whatever, but basically, this is a good product, and everything that I'm learning and reading and hearing and the people I'm encountering, I've met people that I didn't even know were taking it for 10, 15 years. So many affirmations, and that's why I want to share it, because I want to be healthy. I want my family to be healthy. I want my friends to be healthy. I want the people that I encounter every day to be healthy. I want the world to be healthy. And I think that there's a lot of things in our world and in our routines and our daily habits that are counter to that. So I think this is just one simple thing that we could all do to improve health. So that's pretty much what I want to say at this point. Yeah, so I'm glad everyone's here to listen. I know Julia's going to talk about sort of the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Tony. You did an awesome job. And I love it. What you said, it's like you found out that people have been taking it for 10 or 15 years. I think Juice Plus is one of the best kept secrets because I studied nutrition for over 2 decades and I didn't know about it until 5 years ago when somebody shared it with me. And I think it's not that people know about it and are like, no, thanks. I think it's that people just don't know about it. And so that really is a great segue into what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to share my screen and We are going to, hold on just one second. Show from current side. We're going to talk a little bit about who we are. So who is Juice Plus as a company and as a community? We really are, myself, and as Tony said, himself and our friend Debbie are really trying to help people take their health back. You know, the last 2 years have taught us a lot of things, but one of them is that we can be proactive. We don't have to wait until something happens to us. We really can try to do something now to do better by our health. And that's really what Juice Plus is about. We're a community really trying to inspire healthy living. So tonight, though, we need to start where we're at. So we're going to have about 12 to 15 minute presentation, and then we'll have a couple more stories. We'll hear from Debbie, and I will share mine if we have time. So unfortunately, where we're at is not really a great place. We are unhealthy. The US in particular struggles with a lot of disease. So these stats, you know, may or may not surprise you, but what I know is that when my mom was my age, I'm 47 years old. When my mom was 47, she did not know anybody in her life that had cancer that was her age or younger. She may have known some of her parents' friends who were in their 80s who had cancer because that was what was normal. Now what we have that is common is what we see here. And it may be common, but it's not normal. But we're kind of like the frog in the boiling pot of water. We just kind of adapt to where we're at. But just think about that. Just a generation ago, this was not the case. So why is this? There are a couple of reasons. One of them is that environmental toxins are increasing. Okay, so you see a bunch of those listed, and you probably could add some of your own. One that is not on here that I am really passionate about is EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. And I think that's something we really are just finding out is also another toxin. The 5G towers, the Wi-Fi in our homes, our cell phones, all of that is seen as toxic to our bodies. Now, our bodies are amazing at dealing with toxins, but when we have all of this coming at us, you know, we can't always keep up. We're not living in our grandparents' era anymore. And because of that, we really need to do things that are different. The other thing is that our food quality is decreasing. Again, not living when our grandparents did, when people gardened and grew their own food or bought really locally. Instead, we go to the grocery store and we buy processed food, which is full of the things that you see on your screen. And then our produce, when we do buy it, unfortunately, is picked way early, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but we're losing nutrients the moment that it's picked. So what can we do? There are a ton of things, and many of these we know about, right? We move our bodies, we get a lot of sleep, we try to manage stress, we drink water, we try to use safer products. I know that's something that I've done over the years, is just switch out and try to use more clean products. And then finally, we eat real food. And that's what we're going to focus on here tonight. And specifically, we're going to focus on fruits and vegetables because they really are a powerhouse. And we know we need to eat them, but why? So this slide really was key for me in understanding why fruits and vegetables and berries are so powerful. And that's because just by living, we have something called oxidative stress. In layman's terms, that's the fact that just breathing oxygen causes stress in our bodies. And it kind of seems like a raw end of the deal, but that's really how it goes. So it causes aging and disease, and good things cause it and bad things cause it. So some bad things that you might know are going to cause more stress in your body would be, you know, not getting enough sleep, maybe heavy drinking, smoking, getting a lot of sun. But there are actually really great things that also cause stress in our body, like exercise, or being pregnant is a highly oxidative stressed time in a woman's life. So it's not just the negatives, but sometimes the positives. The good news, though, is that antioxidants that are found in fruits, vegetables, and berries are kind of the antidote, if you will, to the oxidative stress. So we have all of these free radicals in our body, these toxins in our body, pinging our cells every day, tens of thousands of times. And the only way that those free radicals can get out of our body is to hook a ride on antioxidants. So that's a really just simple way of explaining it, but that made sense to me. When I put things in my body, like fruit, vegetables, and berries, I'm actually able to detox gently, get some of these toxins out. And so that's why we need to eat fruits and vegetables. 7 to 13 servings a day. Now, when I was a kid and in school, there was the 5-a-day program. I don't know who here is old enough to remember that, eat 5 a day. So why have they increased it to 7 to 13? And that is if you're just trying to maintain your health. If you're pregnant or you're sick or you're an athlete, they're wanting you to do 13 to 18 servings of fruits and vegetables. And that's a fist size. If you're a child, a fist size of a child, a fist size of an adult. I don't know about you, but I am not eating that many fruits, veggies, and berries every day. So why so many? First reason is because our produce is picked before it is nutritionally sound, if you will. So the vine, the fruit is ripening on the vine. And when it's ripe is when it's most nutritious. In fact, 85 to 90% of the nutrition doesn't come in until it's ripe. But I don't know about you, but it's very rare that I find anything ripe in the store. I mean, when I go shopping, I find green bananas. And, you know, in the summer, what do I find? Hard peaches, right? Or nectarines or plums. My avocados that I'm buying are hard. I used to think, well, big deal, right? I'll just come home and put that on the counter, put it in a paper bag, ripen it. I didn't realize that I would never have the nutrition that the plant was meant to have because it was picked early. That is huge. So transported thousands of miles, we're not eating enough, and we don't get the variety. I kind of am a habitual person. I eat the same things over and over again. So what we did in the 1950s to try to bridge this gap is start taking a multivitamin, okay? So this technology came around in the 50s. We realized that people were sick. We tried to find a way that we could supplement our food, and we came up with the multivitamin. So 70% of people are trying to bridge that gap with the multivitamin. But a multivitamin at the best has maybe 30 different things in it, and they're isolated. They're taken out of their environment that they were meant to be in, okay? Versus the apple, which you see here. So on the left, you're seeing the vitamin label. On the right, you're seeing all the things that are in an apple. Now, you can't read them all. And actually, only 400 of them have been named, but there's over 10,000 phytonutrients in that apple, and they're all working in synergy. So when we extract one thing, right, we take out the vitamin C, we actually need 1,500 micrograms of vitamin C to take isolated, that if we took an apple and ate it, it only has 4 micrograms of vitamin C, but it'll do the same thing in the body because of all the other cofactors. This is a big deal. Vitamins don't grow on trees. Food does, and that's what our bodies are meant to run on. And so enters, oh, now my little screen's gonna pause 1 moment. There we go. Enter Juice Plus. And here we have just the beautiful array of every single thing that Tony was talking about, that he just knows this is what is good for my body. There's nobody that can look at that and think, I don't think I want that. But who of us here is getting that sort of produce into our body every single day? Honestly, before I started taking Juice Plus, I had never heard of a bilberry, but I'm taking it every day, along with 29 other things that you see here. So what exactly is Juice Plus? Well, you see all of the fruit, vegetables, and berries, but the big deal is that they are harvested, all of them, at the peak of ripeness, so the nutrition is left intact. So Juice Plus is actually the largest produce consumer in our country. They own, or not own, they partner with farms that work exclusively for them. And so they set the rules, and the rules are we only harvest when things are ripe. Their facilities are within a mile of their farm. So everything is flash frozen. It's picked at its ripe, at its ripeness, so you get the best. And then it's dried at low temperatures to preserve the nutrients. Now, it's unlike juice, and that's why we say Juice Plus, because with juice, you're taking out, right? If anybody's ever juiced, you put the vegetable or the fruit in, and you take out all the fiber, you're just left with the juice. With Juice Plus, you are throwing in the entire fruit or vegetable or berry. So let's just take an apple, for instance. You're gonna get the pit, you're gonna get the peel, the seeds, and the rind. Oranges, did you know 80% of the vitamin C in an orange is actually in the rind, the peel, but we're not eating that. But with Juice Plus, you actually get that. And then we don't have a lot of products, but what we have, we do excellently. And I love that. So our other product that we have that is very unique, it's a plant-based omega. So many people are filling the gap of these fatty acids with fish oil. Okay, but Juice Plus knew there were some problems with fish oil. Number one, just on a practical level, the fish burps, like who enjoys that? Number two, though, it's not sustainable. It takes 40 to 50 pounds of fish to get an ounce of oil, and we are overfishing our oceans. Secondly, toxicity. Our oceans also are toxic. So when we take it from the fish, we're picking up some of those toxins. So the fish actually get their omegas from algae. And so we just cut out the fish and went right to the middleman. And we cut out the middleman and went right to the algae. And so we take care of a lot of those problems. Also, it's balance. So it's not just omega-3s, it's omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 in a balance from 6 different oils. So the omegas are really wonderful too. So why is Juice Plus unique? Okay, so there's 3 reasons, and I love this. And you will not find another product like Juice Plus in the store, not anything like it. The first reason is because it's food. So if you would look at the label, so if you can see my label there, it says nutrition. What other kind of things have nutrition labels? Food, right? Anything else in your cupboard that would be like in the supplement realm, if you will, is going to have a supplement label because that's what it is. It's isolated. It's not food. So Juice Plus is unique. It's the only thing out there that actually is a food. It's made with non-GMO ingredients. You can see some of the other things, but the food, not a multivitamin, is huge. Then it's NSF certified. This is a third-party certification from a different company that comes in and tests every batch of Juice Plus. So I will get a lot. Well, is it organic? No, it's actually not organic, and I'm glad. And here's why, because the organic label does not mean what it used to mean. It actually means that you can spray over 200 things on your products just at lesser amounts. But Juice Plus doesn't spray anything. And the NSF certification guarantees you that what's in the product is in there and nothing that you wouldn't want, herbicides, pesticides, fungus, mold, is going to be in there. And they test each batch twice. So that's pretty incredible. It's very rare to have and not inexpensive to have, but Juice Plus is committed to that. And finally, it's the most researched product in the world. There are over 40 clinical studies done in peer-reviewed, published journals, which is incredible. I don't know of another product that has this kind of research on it. You can see as you read through here, they might be kind of small if you're looking on your phone, but these are some premier universities around the country that have done gold standard method research on our products. So that means that they used our product, they used it on people, they had a placebo. I mean, it's the best research there is. And what kind of things did they find? That's the thing. I mean, we are going to share our stories tonight, but there's a research study that tells you why that happened. Because here's the thing, is a research study going to come back negative using fruits and vegetables and berries? Well, no. So Juice Plus not only has all this research, but they've never not published research, okay? And that's very unique. Pharmaceutical companies, for anybody that might know, they have to conduct a lot of research in order to find a study to publish that gives the results that they would want, right? But with Juice Plus, it's all been published because food only does good things in the body. So you can see a list of, from cardiovascular to your gums to being your cognitive. We have something on cognitive function. That's our most recent study that shows an improve in short-term memory and cognitive function in healthy people, not older people, just people in their 30s, I believe, is what the study was done on. Anyway, and then most importantly, it's absorbed by the body. So there's 19 studies saying that it's bioavailable to the body because you can take things, but if they're not showing up in your blood quickly, then what good is that? So I love what Dr. Richard Dubois said. He was one of the first doctors of over 8,000 medical professionals that stand behind and share Juice Plus with their patients. He said this: there's nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. And then one of my favorite parts about Juice Plus is that Juice Plus really wants families to be healthy. And so we have an option. If you as an adult take Juice Plus, you can sponsor a child anywhere from the ages of 4 to 18 or a full-time college student to receive Juice Plus for free. So we have helped so many children. We're over 1 million children that have gone through the program eating Juice Plus for free. So we're really about families getting Juice Plus as not just the mom, the dad, but everybody, and doing it together and creating healthy habits all together. We have a couple more products. We have our complete shakes, which are awesome. If they, again, are not a supplement, they are a whole meal. They're called complete because they have every amino acid in them. So it really is unique. It is vegan, and you can see it has a list of other plants that are not in our other products. So when you take all of the product line, you actually are ingesting over 50 plants every single day. And then we just came out with our new Perform, and this is more tailored for the athletes in your life or somebody who's really trying to up their protein every day. So these are really great too. Just a little bit different. They're not quite as sweet, and they have double the protein as the complete. So really what Juice Plus is doing is trying to take what you probably eat and be the bridge between what we should be eating. Because the reality is not that we're all eating everything on the left, but every day, I know for me, I am not getting what I want to. So Juice Plus is such a simple way to do that. So, and one last slide here that I found really interesting is there are many people in my life, myself included, who have thought, okay, I want to exercise, I want to lose a little weight, and we do the yo-yo thing, right? We diet or we over-exercise, we lose a little weight, and then we find that it just comes right back on. And why is that? This was really interesting to me. So if you think about it, toxins are stored in our fat cells. Our body is trying to protect us. So it puts the toxins in our fat cells so that they don't go to our organs, right? We don't want toxins near our heart or our kidney or our liver. So they are in our fat. So if we just diet or we over-exercise and we're trying to remove the fat, we are toxic still. So our body naturally will move to protect us, and we'll end up rebounding or gaining that weight back. That's really our body wanting to survive and be healthy. So you actually are the weight, you're a healthy weight for you at this point. When you start to shed the toxins, and that happens when we give ourselves more antioxidants, we talked about that earlier, so things can hitch a ride out, we are not as toxic, so our body doesn't need to hold on to that fat. So not that Juice Plus is promoted as a weight loss product, not at all, but a lot of times people do end up losing weight because they are doing a gentle cleanse every single day. Juice Plus is a gentle detox every single day, which I love. So, and then we have our Tower Gardens, which if you were interested in all in this, I have 2 of them. We love them. My 13-year-old runs he's 14 now, sorry. But when he was 11, he started running my Tower Gardens. That's how simple they are to use and to put together. You can grow them inside, you can grow them outside, no soil, it's water with minerals added. So you can see all that it does. And fortunately or unfortunately, the produce grown on the towers is actually shown to be more nutritious than it is when it's grown in soil, and that's because our soil is so depleted. But with Juice Plus, you're adding the complete mineral tonic every time, so you don't get depleted, which I love. So finally, Juice Plus is affordable. I know for me, when I go to the store and I buy a thing of apples and it costs me, $10 for my apples, I look at what it is to take Juice Plus every day and I know I'm getting a deal. So the Trio, which is our most popular product, is $267 a day or $80 a month. Juice Plus is free for kids. You can see the prices for all of the others. We put a little thing, I won't say it's a Starbucks, but there's a lot of people that have a habit every day of spending more than this on things that aren't necessarily serving them. So this is a healthy habit that I have that I feel like is serving me much better than some of the other ways I could spend my money. So at this point, I am going to stop sharing my screen and ask Debbie if she can unmute herself and just share with us, about Juice Plus, what you've loved about it.
All right. Well, Julie had talked to me about Juice Plus several years ago. And at that point, I just kind of was like, I'm not, ready to make that commitment, and didn't know a whole lot about it, except for that, it was something to take every day. And I thought it was a vitamin. But really, the last 2 years have been a blessing and a curse for our family. And the blessing just is that we have, focused on being healthy and keeping our bodies healthy. I believe that's, what is going to sustain us in the long run. And, I have a husband who loves to run all the time. And so in general, health is just important to our family. So I just looked at this as another way to just really keep our body healthy, and it just performing at its optimum level. I know that my kids do not eat, great. They don't have the greatest diet. I don't know many kids who eat great. And I sure know that my kids don't eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables, neither do I. And so I just thought this was an easy way, just to get that into their bodies. And especially with them being athletes, I was more concerned just about what, the calories they were expending exercising and not returning the protein and just the, everything that they need from healthy food back into their body. Because we did get the complete shakes too, which I thought was a good addition for them because that is where they get their protein supplements, or well, it's not really a supplement, they're protein, they're food. But anyway, like for me, the reason why our family started it was more for my kids. Micah had suffered from allergies for a long time, and I knew that there were stories about some families who just had a lot of success with their kids taking Juice Plus and helping their kids manage through allergy season. And then my youngest, Leah, and I both just always have had like GI issues, and we're taking over-the-counter stuff that in the long run wasn't good for our bodies, and I wanted to get off of that. And so I knew Juice Plus would be beneficial just from hearing other people's testimonies, especially for my daughter, and it's helped us both a lot in that way. And I will say, our family travels to Mexico once or twice a year to build homes we go with our church, and almost every time, more times than not, when I get back from that trip, I get sick. And I just think my GI track has always just been off from what I had been taking. And so it's really exciting. We just went this past March, and it's been 2 weeks and I'm totally feeling fine and haven't had to get on antibiotics or take anything. And I really attribute that to being on Juice Plus, just because I have a very healthy gut, which just in return helps my body. So, I'm slowly getting my kids to take it, and some remember every day better than others to take it. But I know that in the long run, whether they see a very drastic change or just a small change, it's helping their bodies just to be healthy, and it's a foundation for them. It's a start. We try to eat healthy here as well and exercise and just live healthy lives, but this is something that I just look at as a foundation for our health and our bodies.
Oh my gosh, Debbie, thank you so much for sharing. And I love that story about Reynosa. You did not tell me that you came back and didn't get sick. That's huge. Because
I realized that the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, this might be the first time in years that I came back feeling amazing.
Yes. And it's kind of what Tony said too. He's like, oh, I don't know if I want to attribute, maybe it's a coincidence, but I do find that's what a lot of people say. They forget there were things they were dealing with that all of a sudden they're not dealing with anymore. It's like, oh, wait, that didn't happen this time. So a lot of people experience that. So I am so glad that you that you're feeling okay. And that's so much better when you come back and don't have to spend time being sick, right? Well, I will share real quickly just to wrap up how I found Juice Plus. And I was a skeptic. I studied nutrition for, at that point, probably 15 years. And I just thought it was a vitamin. I did not understand what it was. I had a son. I have 8 children. And my son at the time was 2 years old and had a severe asthma attack and ended up in the hospital for the first time of what would be 4 hospital stays over the next 2 years. The last one was in April, actually, April 20th of 2017. Would that be right? Or 18? Anyway, I'm losing track. It was 5 years ago. 5 years ago. So anyway, he was in the pediatric intensive care unit. He was there for 3 days. Things were not getting better. We finally get a diagnosis. It's asthma. They say, well, you're going to, even though it's only happening, these bouts are only happening every 6 months. They're serious. You're going to have to put him on inhalers every day, also known as steroids. And he was 4, and I was not comfortable with that, because even though I know that there's a time and a place for those things, and certainly when my child's turning blue on the way to the ER, there's a time and a place. But as far as managing asthma with that, I didn't want to do that, because I would call an inhaler a symptom manager. It's managing the symptoms, and sometimes we need to do that, but it's never going to get to the root cause. So what was the root cause of the asthma? Well, asthma is autoimmune, and obviously there was something going on there. We eat really clean at my house. I cook all of our meals. I'm a stay-at-home mom, I homeschool, and I'm here. So I'm cooking for most of the part. So I could not figure it out. At the same time, I have another friend who's telling me about Juice Plus, and she sends it to my house for free because you can sponsor a child for free. And woman who I've actually never met named Judy sponsored my child for free. And we started getting Juice Plus. It came to the house. This is how much I didn't think anything of it. I didn't even give him the whole dose. I took some and he took some. And I will just, fast forward. He never was hospitalized again. He never took an inhaler. His next asthma attack was not severe enough to send him to the hospital. We just managed it at home by slowing him down. We did some other things, but everyone after that just got better. And it's been 2 years since anything has happened at all. So I would not define my son as asthmatic anymore. At the same time, I was pregnant with our 8th child and had struggled with anemia for the duration of my adult life, and certainly for every pregnancy. Within 3 months of being on Juice Plus, my hemoglobin numbers were in the normal range for the first time in my adult life. And I've never looked back. So again, well, I don't know what in the Juice Plus caused that, but there's so much synergy going on every time you take that I look at it like this. I'll leave you with this. I feel like Juice Plus is like keeping your pantry stocked in your body. If you go to make a recipe in your kitchen and your pantry's not well stocked, you're going to take some major shortcuts, right? The recipe is not going to be what it should be. That's how I feel like our body is. We are in short supply of all the nutrients our body needs. We live in 2022. We have a depleted planet, which produces depleted food, which produces depleted people. Juice Plus is a way that every day I stock my pantry. So my body goes to make the recipe for who knows what, how to not be anemic, and it has everything it needs. I don't know what it was it needed, but it needed something. So that's how I look at Juice Plus. A lot of you have said, Debbie and Tony both, it's just a foundation. It really is kind of the building block. Our body is built from what we eat at a cellular level. So we are able to build our cells stronger than we build our bodies stronger. So thank you so much for joining us. It was great to have you all. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.